Hey guys, welcome back here to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you around a little bit of the progress that we have made here in the Dark Ride Challenge map. This is Theatre 51, that is the project name, and it's been quite difficult to film, mainly because the map is so large and there's so much detail in the map that the lag is just absolutely outrageous when I'm trying to film and play at the same time, especially while me and Mr. Unit as well are in multiplayer. So I basically stopped filming, and today I'm just going to show you around some of the progress that we have made. So Mr. Unit has made a really cool job there of just tidying up the front of the actual entrance to the ride, made a cool little ticket booth there that I showed you, and then it leads you into the pre-show room here in the queue line. So I'm just going to show you what he has basically programmed with the trigger effects controller. It's got this cool little camera that puts a projection onto the wall with some smoke and flashy lights and stuff, so that's really cool. Really sets the atmosphere for this movie ride adventure that you're about to go on to, and it's just a cool little thing to have in the queue line as well. If the guests were waiting in here, it's not too boring, there's things to look at, there's things going on, creates an atmosphere which I think is really important for a dark ride. So that's the pre-show basically over, and then the lights come back on. And that leads you through then to a curtain, which will take you into the main station area, which you may have seen me build in a time lapse, is the archive, where all the film reels are kept and all that kind of memorabilia. Mr. Unit actually opened out the station a little bit, made a control booth on one side with some more kind of storage for film reels, and actually built this machine that sucks you into the movies so you can be a part of those films from the 90s. And he made this really cool machine here. As you can see, it has some projections on there as well. We've got this really cool light pattern that he made, and this cool little gate that opens up full of smoke. And this is kind of like maybe the professor who owns all the reels. That's his machine that sucks you into the film. So I really like that. That's really cool. Here's some of the cars going off on their journey into the dark ride. And this is, of course, is just the station. This is the very beginning of the ride. But I absolutely love what he did with the side here, and it absolutely just works so well, and it really complements what I built back in the time lapse where you saw me do the towers with all the storage and the film reels. So I think it's a really cool way of opening that out as well, and you can definitely see more in this room now with the back of it being more open. So I'm really happy with how that looks. I think it looks really cool. And yeah, I've absolutely loved this project. It's been quite difficult at times, don't get me wrong. I've had the struggle moments and not sure what to do, but bouncing ideas off each other has been so helpful, and things like this have happened from combining our ideas together. So that's been really cool. So from the station room there, it actually leads you on into the first movie, which is Jurassic Park. You also saw me build most of that on a time lapse as well. So I'm just going to show you around that a little bit. So the cars kind of leave the station, go through that gate, and then they come through another gate here, which leads you straight into Jurassic Park. So we come past the visitor center here. We've got some of those jeeps, safari jeeps lined up, ready for the adventure tour. The Jurassic Park sign, please ignore it, because actually Mr. Unit did it using the font text, but it doesn't work on Mac. So unfortunately on my computer it looks like that, but it looks way better when the fonts are at the correct font. But yeah, that's really cool. Behind those gates there are some raptors when the gates open, and we've got some cool strobe lighting and stuff going on here as we approach the T-Rex scene. So here's a little look at that for you. I really love how that looks. I think it looks really cool. Very reminiscent of Jurassic Park 1 with that famous T-Rex scene, and that's exactly what I wanted to try to recreate there. As the Jurassic Park scene was my first one that I did, I do feel like the other ones got better as I went along. So maybe this one could have been better, but you know, I always find the thing I build the first is not maybe as strong as the other stuff I build afterwards. But here's a really cool transition room here into the Indiana Jones area, and I love this transition area. Mr. Unit built most of this. I just kind of added in a couple little details here and there and did the big pillars and stuff, but yeah, he built most of this in this room, and I just absolutely love how this transition room turned out. I think it's really awesome. Indiana Jones ended up spreading out over like 3 rooms, which was more than we actually anticipated. but it's absolutely fine. It works as well. And this was a really cool transition room. It was actually meant to be originally more of that kind of professor machine from the station that would suck you into the next movie, but it just kind of turned out that this was how it flowed better. Just going to show you a little bit in dark mode now as well, so you can see kind of the triggers going on. You've got some fire and some lights in the eyes, and then those cars there dropping down into, this is essentially a booby trap taking you into like the main Indiana Jones area. So that leads you out of a temple into this really cool kind of camp area. We've got a nice little scene in the background there with the moon, and the cars come out of the temple there and kind of go around past this little campsite. We've got some horses. It's nice and atmospheric in there as well, with some flame torches and the stars and everything. So I really like how that turned out. I could maybe add a little bit more details to those rocks, some different variations in color. That's some of the things left to go back and do. There are some more details that need to be added. But the cars then go through another temple entrance here into basically the main scene of Indiana Jones, and this is just basically like a tomb or something, or a crypt, and inside there we've just got some cool little things to look at scenery wise, and then the last part of that is the big boulder that will be rolling towards you. Unfortunately it isn't animated, so that would be quite cool if it was, so that the ball looks like it's rolling, but the boulder I should say, but we'll show you that now as I just kind of turn around. The boulder is kind of stuck into the wall and it looks like it's coming down towards you. Just get a nice good angle of that for you there. So there's the boulder, and then on the end of there I've just popped Indiana Jones's hat, as the cars do actually go under the rocks to exit, and I thought it'd be quite cool if the hat was left behind, as if Indiana Jones would reach back to grab it. So I'm just going to skip Alien. The next scene would be Alien. It's not finished yet, so I'm going to come back to that in another video and show you that properly. But that would lead you from Alien and then into Back to the Future, which you've also seen me build in a time lapse. So here's just a quick little look for you. We've got a nice little night scene going on. We've got the stars out. We've got the lightning coming down, hitting the DeLorean there and sending that off into the future at 88 miles an hour. And as the cars leave, you get that really cool famous trail of fire on the floor. And then the cars basically go back through a portal, and that takes you into the exit area, which was the very first video that I made, I believe, for this map. And this is the exit area, which I think looks really cool. Some of the triggers still need to be fixed with the curtains, etc. But here we got the cool exit where it says that's a wrap, and that leads you then into the gift shop. Now I'm going to come back and do one more video to show you more of the stuff. For example, the facade on the front of the building, which is still yet to be completed. We have like all the exterior walls around the whole ride, some of the areas, planters and that I've made, and also the alien room, of course. I need to show you that as well. But it would be really cool to maybe put together like a video. I'm going to speak to Mr. Unit about it, but put together a video kind of following the cars on the journey, and maybe I could add some like music or a soundtrack to it or something, which would be really cool. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm just going to leave you a little bit now, showing you the cars kind of going through the journey, through the open sections in the roof that you can see. And yeah, kind of showing you what I've just shown you today in the video on how that is. But it's been a really cool build. I hope you've liked it. Please give me a thumbs up if you've liked it as well. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already for more content. And if you want to support me further, you can head over to my Patreon. It's just €3 a month, and then you get early access to my videos and screenshots of all the projects that I'm working on before anybody else. And thanks to all the current Patreons that support me. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time here on my channel for another video. Bye.